No money that you have is not the issue. It takes money to make money. It doesn't actually take money to make money. It takes courage to make money. It takes contacts to make money. Money is a contact sport. I need to make contact with people. Okay, it's not about skills. It's not about education. It's not about personality. It's not about tricks. It's about contacts. The more contacts I make, the more chances I have. You know, somebody asked me recently, said, hey, would you rather 1 billion friends or $1 billion? I said, dude, give me 1 billion friends. 1 billion friends is worth at least $5 or $10 billion. $1 billion is only $1 billion. And if I can actually go make contact with 1 billion people and get them to trade money with me, just 5% of those people gave me $100 because I traded some service that was worth 1,000, I'd be worth $5 billion. So you see, most people don't understand the math of money, and they think money is about numbers. Money is not about numbers. Money is about people.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 50 rules of success. Enjoy.
Sale is made when certainty that your product or service will solve my problem. When the certainty goes way up here, you're going to make the sale. When the certainty drops, okay, which is, I don't know if I have a job. I don't know if I have money. I don't know if my company's going to make it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get sick. There's so much uncertainty now that the consumer no longer believes in themselves for their company. So the salesperson or the company today has to ensure, not just reinsure, but ensure the certainty of the consumer. And you have to be skilled now. This isn't going to be just about creating a landing page and an offer, unless you're selling masks. We buy real estate that cash flows. So some of what people want to show me here, I'm like, is there any cash flow? I'm always buying cash flow. So I'm not buying possibility. I'm not buying, okay, we're going to speculate and make a bunch of money here. Does it cash flow next month? Because I want cash flow. Cash flow is the holy grail of a business. It's why people, the great real estate investors, or even the great stock investors or company investors, typically invest in cash flow companies. Warren Buffett is famous for everything cash flows.
I've noticed in the past also you've talked a lot about discipline with money and how key this has been. I mean, can you talk to me more about that? Because obviously, you know, what you've needed to pay to have success and financial freedom, because I guess everyone will see the wealth and the spending, but what price have you needed to pay?
Yeah, look, the price I had to pay was not to be broke and not to make excuses and not to feel sorry for myself and not to be a victim. You know, the fact is, on this planet, if you don't have money, you're in trouble. Now, I know some of your audience, this message kind of just grinds out the individual because you're struggling with money. And you're like, oh, money's not all that. I'm not talking about watches and planes and big houses. You know, I'm talking about having enough money that you have confidence in your ability to get up in the morning and say, hey, I can take care of the people I love. So I'm not talking about all the extra, the flaunting stuff, right? I'm talking about knowing within yourself, drop me off anywhere in the world. I just finished a project. It's going to be on TV in January. Discovery Channel says, hey, we're going to give you $100 and drop you off anywhere in the country. Can you turn it into $1 million? I said, where are we going? Where are we going, players? Where are we going, man? As long as I can speak the language, I can do it. Okay. I have confidence in myself. And what is more valuable than confidence? There is no amount of money that is more valuable than knowing, hey, drop me off anywhere. I can take care of myself and my family. Take everything away from me. My name, my money, my brand, my credit. And leave me anywhere and I can take care of my family and actually build something that can take care of my family, even if I'm not around.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Let's talk about when you started working for yourself, because most small businesses fail in the first few years, 1 to 3 years. That most don't make it.
I mean, there's a lot of different numbers out there about that. Like 50% of all businesses fail by 7 years. The truth is, they were failing in the first 6 months.
Okay, what do you think they did wrong?
They don't know how to sell anything. I mean, you go to Harvard, Yale, or MIT, they're gonna, if you do studies, the reason they were undercapitalized. Okay, look, this is completely ridiculous what they're telling you. Okay, you don't capitalize a business and then run out of money. That's not how you do a business, right? This is how Wall Street does a business. They rip people off. They basically go, most companies developed by Wall Street or in Silicon Valley are complete rip-offs of the investors. You hear about the Netflix that made it. It might not still make it. It's still a negative cash flow business because they don't know how to sell their products fast enough, in quantities big enough, and at prices high enough to basically fund the future. So businesses fail for one reason and one reason only, because you can't sell your products fast enough, in quantities great enough, and at prices high enough to sustain the business. Thus, Harvard says, they ran out of capital. Why? Because they didn't sell their products. So if you can sell products fast enough, quantities great enough, Google's a company you don't consider a sales company. Google sells products in quantities that are giant. At profits margins that are high enough.
When did you first start on like the foray of entrepreneurship? When did you stop working for somebody, moved onto your own thing? What was that? Was it real estate, that kind of?
No. So the car dealer that I worked for 7 years fired me. It was kind of a mutual firing thing. And I went out and looked for another job. And I was either going to go sideways, meaning I was going to go horizontal in my job, or I was going to go up. And I had two choices. One was horizontal, just move to another position in another company, or kind of like what we're going through right now, pivot and move up. Rather than take a loss and go sideways or down, I decided to take a bigger challenge, something that was scarier, which was working for a training company. I was 29 years old, went to work for this training company. I did that for 2 years. And then when that expired, that came to an end because of the company. And I went and started my own company. So everything I had done prior to that point, the selling, the sales, the firings, the losing positions, drug addiction that I had for 9 years in my teenage years, to working for this company, exhausting myself, working for a company that really didn't have long-term plans, was all preparation. The good, the bad, and the ugly of it was preparation for me to start my own business when I was 31 years old.
Explain how you went from a salesman who was in it and hated it to then, you moved on and became self-employed, and then you were speaking about sales and you're like a sales expert. So that's what, 20 years in between or 10 years?
There was maybe 25. By the time I'm 26, I'm the top 1% of all salespeople in the auto industry. I didn't really know what that meant, but it was important to me that I was very good at what I was doing now. Now I was in. I went from hating a job in car sales. I remember going out with this girl and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm a car salesman." And she got that look on her face like, "Oh my God, that's worse than a man." I mean, and I had this terrible thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get great at it. I started studying sales every day. I started recording interviews. Like literally, you'd come in to buy a car from me, and I hired my mom. My mom was 70 years old at the time, and I hired my mom, and I said, you sit over there and you take notes.
Really?
And watch her. Watch when I lose her. Watch what happens, and we're going to debrief at the end of the deal. And I'm going to see what's working and what's not. I'm recording myself, videoing myself. I'm using every little piece of technology 30 years ago I can to find out, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And what I was doing, I didn't know it then, but I was basically codifying sales. I was learning, what does it mean when I say I'm going to think about it? When is that real? When is it not? What does it mean when it says the price is too high? When's that real? When it's not? And I started codifying and writing, taking notes, keeping all this information. I didn't know this would happen, but 5 years later, I'm out on the road, knocking on doors, selling a new way to sell things.
What you want is in the hands of a person, whether you want to be the queen, the king, the president, you want to be Boris, you want to pull off the Brexit exit, you want to pull Brexit back in, whatever you want to do in life, man, whatever you're trying to trying to convince people to do. You want to raise money for your charity? I've raised over $115 million for charities. I didn't do that because I understood math. I did it because I understand people.
I didn't scale the way I should have because too often I was doing either the same thing over and over and not getting bigger. Like today, when we find something that works, we're like, okay, how do we 10X that? The 10X rule changed my life. People talk about online about the 10X rule is a book that I wrote. It was the third book I wrote. And people are like, that book is a game changer. That book's one of the best books they've ever written. And it's on the most top 10 most inspirational books in the world. But that book was written for me. I was trying to figure out at 50 years old, how do I scale? How do I actually go from, in 2008, I think I had 300 apartments. Well, I had 160 apartments when I was 35. So 35 years old, I had 160 apartments. When I was 50 years old, I only had about 180 apartments. Like I didn't have maybe 230 or something. It wasn't that much more. From 2008 till 2020, I went from 160 units, or I guess I had maybe 230 units at the time. I'm at 7,700. I have 4 times more vacancies, 3 times more vacancies than I owned 12 years ago. Because I learned how to scale. This 10X thing was about how do I double down? No, don't just double down. How do I take something that's working and don't do something new? Take something that's working. I think about Jeff Bezos right now because I'm like, he went from, hey, I'm gonna go from selling books on Amazon to selling everything on Amazon. Scale.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? You study statistics and you double down when you're winning. People should be looking where they go. They should be looking for opportunity before anything else. Not money, not where the location of the office is. They should be looking for, particularly the talented people. How big could I get with this company? And they could go further with a company, in most cases, than they can by themselves. If you're at home, you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business startup, you're not spending time and money, don't call yourself an entrepreneur, because by definition, you're not. I'm going to be back here in November, and there's going to be people that will not spend the money because they don't have the money. That's what they're saying. I don't have the money, so I can't spend it to come spend a couple days with me.
There's so many ways to get the money.
Yeah, exactly. So an entrepreneur says, hey, entrepreneurs by definition don't make excuses, okay? You want to come to the growth conference, you figure out how to come.
And it's an excuse that I shouldn't say to myself.
And like if you make excuses, that's one thing, but don't make excuses and become a liar.
Exactly.
You know, like be honest, dude, at least say, look, I made an excuse, I didn't come to the deal, didn't make it work. Don't be, I make excuses and I lie to myself, right? So
exactly.
The entrepreneur needs to get brutally honest with themselves and with their family and get participation from the family unit.
Handling kind of criticism and people saying don't do that or you can't do that, because on any kind of success journey you do get a lot of that. How did you kind of handle that?
Yeah, in the beginning you're not ready for it. I was not ready for the amount of criticism. First you're going to be ignored. In the beginning you're just going to be ignored. Nobody's going to even pay attention to you. You could be Jesus. You could walk on water and they're going to ignore you. Nobody will even see. Hey, did you see that? Did you take a selfie? Did you get it on Instagram? If you didn't, it didn't happen. So it doesn't matter. Like you could literally save the world. And if nobody saw it, they're going to ignore you in the beginning. Then they're going to reject you. Third thing they're going to do is they're going to criticize you and make fun of you. But if you stay with it, they're going to adopt it. Okay. I mean, brilliant people are adopted at the end. If they just stay with it, the hate along the way is part of the game. For you to get past being ignored and then rejected, you will be hated on. And once you start accumulating enough success, I told my team over here, we got 155 employees. I'm like, guys, look, you have to be ready. It's coming. The criticism, the stuff online. Don't even look at it. It's all garbage. And if it affects you negatively, it's not about what they're saying. It's about what it does to you personally. I just know it's part of the game now. In the beginning, I wasn't ready for it. Now I understand, My success is dependent upon the hate and the criticism and the rejection. You got to have it. It's part of the recipe of success, unfortunately, because people that quit are going to hate you for not quitting. They're actually not talking about you. They're talking about themselves. And they're like, he's wrong for having a damn plane because they quit on their plane. Everybody can have a plane. The crazy shit is everybody can have everything they want because there's enough to go around for everybody. So for every guy that doesn't have what he wants, there's somebody on this planet that has the oceanfront house, that goes on as many trips as they want, some guy that's got the 200-foot yacht, some guy that funded a hospital somewhere and put his name on it. And you know, it's just crazy that the hate always comes from the same place, a quitter. Haters actually aren't haters, they're quitters.
What are your best 3 marketing tips?
Number 1 is be everywhere all at the same time. It's called omnipresence. So omnipresence, omnipresence, by the way, has survived since the beginning of man, 300,000 years or whatever. Whoever can be everywhere will be assigned power, whether it's the Queen or God or Coca-Cola. Whatever can be everywhere will be assigned power. And so omnipresence with marketing, this has really never been possible before until the digital age, the last 6 or 7 years. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, these things that, based on the age of this audience, half of you probably don't use. You know, because you're like, I don't have time for that. This well-dressed man right here with the sweater and the glasses over his nose, and this very aristocratic looking gentleman. Okay, are you on Facebook, sir? He's on Facebook. That's unbelievable. Instagram? No. YouTube? I mean, you have a YouTube channel. I don't mean you watch my YouTube. You have your own YouTube channel? Okay, that's pretty good. So, but you see, like you should, the answer to your question is be omnipresent. 2, use all channels, all of them, everything. I'm going to use YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm going to use newspapers, even though most people aren't reading newspapers. I'm going to use magazines. I'm going to use, that's marketing. I'm going to use expo events like this, events like stages like this. I'm going to use telephone calls, cold calling, warm calling. I'm going to use billboards. If you go to Miami right now, you'll see 28 massive billboards throughout Miami, $1 million worth of marketing material where I'm introducing where I live, the business owners, to my name. So I would use every marketing means possible. Lastly, the number 3 thing is I would have your marketing budget have a target of your last year's income. I would spend more money on marketing than I do people, and I would spend more money on people than I could even imagine. I would just spend more money.
There was this book written called The Millionaire Next Door. Yeah. It was a big sensation too. A lot of people read this book. It was a super big hit book, okay? And when I read the book, I was like, I got something different from it than what other people got from it. Other people were like, okay, I'm not going to coffee shops anymore. Okay, I'm not going to buy a brand new car anymore. What I got was, I don't want to be the millionaire next door. That's what I got from the book. So it's all about your viewpoint, right? When I finished reading the book, I was like, okay, I don't want to be a millionaire. And I'm definitely not going to take advice from a millionaire. Because when you get $1 million, if you came up the way you and I did, and you had nothing, I give you $1 million and you're going to think, dude, oh my God, I got $1 million. Your mom's going to kiss you. Oh, son, I always knew you could make it, right? And then you're going to wake up the next morning and say, dude, I don't want to lose this money. You go into conservation, into defense. You start playing defense. I was with Mike Tyson. I did Mike Tyson's podcast, the boxer, right? Well, in 19 years old, Mike was the champion of the world. Yeah. When Mike got in the ring, man, when he was at his perfection, dude, he didn't hit you once.
He hit you and he kept hitting you until you went down. There was attack until you couldn't get up. Till you're like, you're just gonna, even if the body can get up, you're like, I don't want to get up now because I can't win this. And that is the way people should be attacking life, right? When Mike started getting data, I even told him this. I said, dude, when you went to the therapist, when you started therapy is when you started having problems. Grant, you're right, Grant. Grant, you're right. When you stopped seeing the therapist, you got better. Because the therapist puts you on defense. What are you doing? You start going on defense. You start looking at where you made your mistakes, as opposed to saying, hey, dude, what worked? Let's repeat it. Yeah. Let's don't do destructive stuff. Yeah. Let's get rid of whatever's driving the destructive behavior, right? But with money, man, with money, what you want to do is you want to double down. Yeah. This is why the casinos never get broke, because nobody bets enough in the casinos. Yeah. If all the whales showed up in Macau, or in right here in London or in Vegas, and all the whales showed up at one weekend and said, hey, we're going to break the bank and we're going to all push in hard, they could take down a casino. But because all the little guys go to the bank, they lose 5, they lose 5, they lose 5, they win 15, they say, I'm out of here. Yeah. Okay, if they break even, they think they had a big night.
People are like, oh, bigger's not better, and I'm better off by myself. You are not better off by yourself. It is absolutely impossible to live on planet Earth as one person, try to communicate to 7 billion, and think you're going to stay in the game. You're not. It's impossible. So you solopreneurs out there, your business model that you created is already broken, thinking I'm going to be by myself and do it by myself. And the proof is in the pudding, because there's 28 million small businesses in America, 22 million of them break even or lose money. Those 22 million all have one thing in common: no employees, no support.
I made the mistake in my life of studying people that appeared to be successful.
A lot of people are like that.
They appeared to be successful. Today in the times that we live in, you can go on Instagram and it looks like everybody owns a Ferrari, everybody has a Rolls Royce, everybody looks like they're having the best day of their life. That's not studying, that's watching. I want to study people. Or even at conferences, you can go to a conference and watch somebody on stage, and he or she could present to like they're so successful, but if you really get behind the scenes, you'll find out there is no success there. It's just a lot of talking. And so I would just strongly suggest to people to pick a handful of people and make sure those people are actually doing, not just saying. That they're not talking about success. They're actually doing success every day.
And how would you know what they're doing?
Well, you would see it in their statistics, right? Like there's some things you can't fake.
Yeah.
You can't fake somebody. We're buying $250 million worth of real estate this month with my money. Hard to fake that. Okay, it's a great Instagram post, by the way, but you can't fake it. There's going to be a loan. There's going to be a building. There's going to be acres and acres of land. There's going to be people living there. Like, you just can't fake it. So there's a lot of things you can fake. You can make a nice little quote, put it on Instagram. People look at it like that's the truth, And the public is confused with a lot of what appears to be the truth that's not.
Sure.
And so I would just tell people, study people that have success, that are doing it now. Also, the second thing I would say is make sure that where you're getting your advice from them lines up with where you need advice, right? So Warren Buffett, he's at the tail. He's at the tail of his. He's probably here, right? So here he was doing different things than he's doing here. He talks about investing in stocks, but he actually doesn't do it. He doesn't buy stocks. He buys companies.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to people. Steve Jobs right here was one of the most aggressive business people that this planet's ever seen. I mean, he was barbarian aggressive. So was Bill Gates. But if you talk to Bill Gates today, Bill and Steve's not alive, obviously, but Bill Gates today saying, dude, I'm giving all my money away. Money doesn't matter. That's not what he was saying right here. Right now in 2020, here we are in April, right? We have this COVID thing happen, and we have massive unemployment worldwide. Literally a worldwide recession, if not a depression, about to in formation right now. This is not the time for me to go try something new.
This is the time for me to double down on what's working, how to help people right now. How do I scale Cardone University? How do I help customers? I need to actually contract a second so that I can pull the forces back and prepare for another assault.
Yeah.
You can't just go run out. Like a lot of people think 10X is, all the time you're 10X. Sometimes 10X means I got to contract again. Get rid of some stuff so I can double down or 10X on the things that are working so I can move again and set up that other company that I want for instance, the real estate. I can't go expand my real estate portfolio in this environment today. Not because I don't want to, but because the markets have seized up. I need a second. I need a second for things to relieve themselves in order to go back and go from 7,000 units to 14,000 units.
Property's been a big part of your career and in investing in property. What, can you just give us an insight into, do you still think that that's a good investment for people? Because I know you've been on record as saying, it's not a good idea to own your own house, that kind of thing. What are your views on the current property market?
So the issue for property, again, I love real estate. We buy real estate every day. Every day I'm trying to buy some real estate. But the problem is priorities. Guy gets out of school, gets married, husband and wife. Oh, we got to buy a house. That is the wrong first thing to do. Like, why are you buying a house? We need a place to live. That's an investment. A house is not an investment. A business is an investment. Going to dinner with a client, that is an investment. Going on a trip to meet with other great people that could become investors or customers, that's an investment. Buying a house is a place to live. And the banks, years ago, the banks convinced the public that a house is an investment. A house is not an investment. So why are people, notice how many of your friends bought a house, but they haven't invested money in their business. They bought a house, but they didn't invest money in making themselves better. Dude, I am the house. It's the Grant Cardone house. Okay. Where I live doesn't really matter to me. It could be the Ritz Hotel. It could be the Four Seasons. It could be the Marriott. It could be your house. I could go bunk up at your place. The investments people should be making is number one in myself. Number two is in my business. And the third thing they should buy, once they got the first two handled, everybody should start trying to invest in real assets or real estate that pays them. I'm not talking about a house. I'm talking about buy a piece of real estate that other people rent from you so that you get cash flow.
How do you build a business with a strong base of operations? You talk a lot about sales and marketing, but how do we do it that sales and marketing go into a strong base of operations and process? How do you go? What advice would you give an entrepreneur to build that strong?
You need a strong culture. You have to have a strong culture, and the culture starts with the leadership, right? So if I'm trying to teach, and this is what happens in big companies and causes big companies to fail, is the CEO often is not really connected to what's happening on the ground. And it's one of the reasons we've been so successful in America, crowdfunding against conglomerates. Culture is the leadership calls out the people around them and keeps everybody sharp.
Exactly.
Or you have a culture where everybody's asleep.
Exactly.
You have culture either way. It's like, what culture do you want? Do you want warriors and fighters and acquirers and people that are hungry and never satisfied? Or do you have a culture? We just left a meeting and they're like, dude, we got problems here. People are satisfied and not working hard enough. There's a handful of people that are extremely aggressive here, but for the most part, the woman told me, most people are just making excuses, not going to the next level, not taking the action, saying this or that about this or that. That's the reason why this or that is this or that, right? And so you got to build a culture of no excuses. Means you got to hire people and get rid of people. We met with some real estate agents yesterday. They hired 1,000 salespeople for this project they're doing. $10 billion worth of real estate to sell. They want me to sell it all. I said, yeah, I can do that. So,
I'm sure.
And 1,000 salespeople, now they're down to a couple hundred. I said, dude, you don't have you have to get a strong culture.
He's like, we don't have any culture. I said, oh yeah, you do. You onboard people, and then you don't train them and educate them and make sure that they're excited and keep with them. You can't go to an event for 3 days, get excited, and think it's going to last 3 weeks later. It's not. That's got to be instilled into the culture. You know, you look around these buildings, the way these buildings, there's reinforced steel, there's concrete, there's glass, there's blue. Like something's holding that thing together. The Burj where I'm staying is holding it together long after it's built. And that's what has to happen with management and ownership.
Can you walk through the 10X rule? Like, I know you sort of touched on points, but like just high level, just because some people may not know, like you're known as the 10X guy, but what is the 10X rule at its core?
Yeah, well, the 10X rule, first of all, the 10X rule is not an idea, it's a way of life. And people that go 10X are massive action people. And the premise of the book is there's 4 levels of action. You don't do anything, you retreat, you do average, or you go 10X. Now, the first three, everybody knows somebody that does nothing, that you call them lazy. Actually, it's impossible to do nothing, but just for conversation, we'll say a person does nothing. We know that's not going to work. Retreating, if you retreat your entire lifetime, it's going to be very painful. Retreating, by the way, takes more energy than just normal activity. The guys that get up every day and go to work every day, going backwards, making a decision to do something and not doing it is very painful. A lot of wear and tear going backwards. The third one is the most damaging of all 3, which is normal levels of activity, the acceptable, the average, the middle class, the norm, because you get lost. These people get lost. They work every day. They show up every day. They dig ditches every day. They do a good job every day. They're loyal every day, but they never get rewarded ever. Number 3 is the story of my whole life. Yeah. That's where I operated most of my life.
Most people.
Normal levels of activity, maybe just above normal, just enough to shine a little bit. But dude, I never went for it. And so the 10X rule is like, okay, how do I really take some risk here? How do I really put myself out there? So the middle class of America is basically laid up on number 3, being convinced to go to number 2. And then they'll end up with number 1.
And how do you suggest somebody takes that move from 3 to 4?
Yeah. So what you would do is you need to understand that number 3 is the biggest disaster that we have. It's where all wealth is created on the backs of number 3. The wealthy, and this will happen again. We'll come out of this virus thing. People will go back to consuming again, and they'll go back to debt. They'll go back to borrowing money to buy things they don't even need, to impress people they don't even know, because they're unsure about who they are and where they're going. And so the middle of the spine of America, the middle class of India when it develops, the middle class of China will fund the wealthy. And because they do the normal things. The wealthy do not do normal things. They do completely, they don't save money. Wealthy people don't save money. They invest money. Wealthy people don't spend time or manage time. They take money that's useless. They know it's useless. And they buy, I'm going to get 1,000 employees. And then everybody's like, well, that guy never works. He hired 1,000 people to do work. Mm-hmm. This is an old story, by the way. You can go back to the King Tut. Okay. I mean, it's not a new story. It's like, how do you get wealthy? Well, you commit to massive action. How do you do massive action? You only have 40 hours a week or 80 or 100. Elon Musk says, hey man, 100 hours. He works 100 hours a week. He does the video about the 100 hours. He's like, look, if I do 100 and you do 40, I win. He's a smart dude too, by the way. Real smart guy. But he's nobody without the risk, without the big think, and without the massive action.
I spent 5 years in college. I went to college because I thought the teachers were going to teach me business. I love teachers, okay? Teachers are great people, but you can't know business if you're in a classroom. It's just not possible. It's like my economics teacher, there's no way he could imagine the fuel bill on my plane. It's just not real. You go to Lord Sugar and say, hey, how do you make sense of 4 jets? Why would you do that? Why'd you buy that building right there? That's the information I want. See, but most us in this room, we were taught we had to go someplace and spend 4 or 5 years there. I'm not trying to talk you out of school or university, but the fact that it takes 4 years to get out of university by itself is a major problem. It's a major problem. You know why? The 4 years, I'm trading time for money. What do rich people do? They trade money for time.
I think the reason why people drop their financial goals is because the goals aren't big enough. Yeah. If you make another 20 pounds or another 200 pounds or another 2,000 pounds, it doesn't change your life. The goals are too small to start with. Yeah. But if you go from $1 million to 100 million, all of a sudden everything changes. You go from 100 million to $1 billion, yeah, it changes again, dude. It's like you go from $1 billion to a $10 billion company. Yeah. You're like, okay, wait a minute. Now this is getting really serious. If you're a money motivated person, yeah, and I know a lot of people aren't, right? A lot of people they've just given up on it.
Well, why did they give up on it? Because
they've given up on it, so it doesn't even matter because this entire conversation is going to agitate them. So they're like, I don't want to talk. They probably already tuned out. They tuned out already. I mean, I didn't even get them in time. Yeah. I should have told them that they were going to tune out as soon as I started talking about this. But and then we could have kept them. Yeah. But if you haven't given up on the money thing, then you need to you just need to do some math. And you need to understand most of the people that you're listening to on social media have given up on the money game. Yeah. I know guys that have $5 million that have given up. Now, the trip we're on our 31st day. If you got $5 million in a bank account, you cannot do the trip I just did. Yeah. Okay? You can't do the trip. You don't have enough money to do the trip, man. Yeah. This is what the guy with $5 million, he made $5 million and quit. Yeah. Dude, he was just getting rolling. He's like, I don't need any more. Or his wife said, we don't need any more. We're good. Let's just enjoy life. Okay, if you can enjoy life at $5 million, yeah, I'll guarantee you at 50, you're going to have a hell of an experience. And you bank 500 million, and you're going to be like, no, it's getting real interesting. Not just for yourself either, because if you got $5 million, you can't only take so many people with you. That's right. I'm dragging people from all over the world with me, man. They're having experiences. My daughters are having experiences. The nanny who's doing the homeschooling, she's like, oh my God, this is the best 30 days of my life. So when you get big enough, man, you can feed other families.
My dad died when I was 10 years old. I had an older brother die when I was 20. By the time I was 21 years old, I was jaded and just figured, hey, life is not going to last very long. And somewhere from before my dad died to 21 years old, in between there, I thought I was going to be a businessman one day. I thought I was going to be rich and successful. And James Bond. Like I had all these ideas. Like when you're a kid, you have all these big, giant ideas. And then life starts, lost dad, lost brother, girlfriend, lose her. Like I start accumulating all these losses. Start using drugs and alcohol, start using them every day, start making bad choices. 25 years old, I was broke. I was in debt, couldn't keep a relationship, had no chance of being married or having kids. It was impossible, right? It was just, none of that was even possible. So I started putting my life back together, but it's really, throughout the period from 25 to today, 35 years now, of me studying people that are successful, that has given me the discipline and the encouragement along the way with some milestones. Like 2008, when the economy collapsed, that was a huge awakening for me. Getting married, another monster awakening. Like it gave me another reason to have a purpose. Being a good role model for my kids, not just talking the talk. but being someone my kids could look up to and say, that's what success looks like. Just having money, just having a couple $1 million, if you're not making a difference, that's one level of success. But for kids, they don't care how much money you have. My kids don't. They don't know that. Well, what does 167 million in cash look like in an account? I remember when a billionaire showed me his cash account. I was like, whoa, $400 million sitting in one account. I'm like, my God. I literally couldn't read the numbers. So my kids don't even care. What my kids do care about, what changes children and what changes friends and what changes your neighbor is what they see you doing every day. And it just so happens it takes money to do things, to fly across the world, to make new friends, to create new charities, you know, to market, to advertise, etc.
Listen to this. I'm happy if I can take care of my family. That is selfish, man. There's 7 billion people on this planet. All different colors, different religions, different ages, different problems. They got places on this planet where you can't get a bottle of water, okay? Yeah. But the guy that's in London right now thinking, hey, I got my flat paid for, and I got my 2 cars paid for, and I got a good job, and yes, me and my wife are having some problems, and the kid's smoking too much weed, but you know, things are pretty good. You're a selfish bastard is what you are. Because what you could be doing is putting another hour in early in the morning, another one at night, taking more risks, growing something, maybe even disrupting your business and your industry, build a freaking mega billion-dollar business, leave a legacy and put hospitals and schools in place and really make a difference.
Look, if you're anything like me, if you're one of those people that's like, hey, I know you know inside you're gonna make it one day, that you're gonna be successful, that you're gonna change the world. Look, here's the deal. You will get your break, okay? You just got to keep looking for it. Sometimes it's so hard. Sometimes it's like, why is everybody else making moves and I can't seem to find my break? Keep looking for it, all right? Keep looking for it. 30 years, I wake up every morning and say, when am I going to get my break, okay? When am I going to get my break? I see other people making moves. I'm like, why not me? If that's happening to you, don't get frustrated. Don't give up. Hang in there. Be persistent, okay? Post in comments below what break you're looking for. Maybe I can help you. I know people. I'd love to help you.
One of the key, I run a marketing agency, and a lot of my customers say, well, I spent $1 and I £1 and I only got £1 back. That's not success. I need to spend £1 and get 6 back. What is success in marketing?
Number one is to get known. You shouldn't advertise first. You should get known first. So if I spend $1 in marketing or branding, I don't need my $1 back. It's when you have a toilet, you buy a business and you get hey, we should put a bathroom in our business. How many of you have a bathroom at your business? What's the ROI on that? There's no ROI on that. How many of you have an air conditioner and a heater at your company? What's the ROI? I mean, does that get you customers? The air conditioner sends you customers? Some things you need to do because you're in business. When did you start making sense of not getting known? There is nothing more important than getting known. If you can't get known, you can't be in business. If I don't know you, I will not do business with you. If I don't know this woman in red, no matter how good her product is or what the price is, I will not do business with her regardless of her ethics, regardless of her honesty, regardless of her service. If we don't know each other, we won't do business. So I would spend money on marketing before I'd spend it on a toilet and air conditioning.
And Climb Online's stand is just through there and to the left.
I mean, I would. And I wouldn't expect Mark to get me a lead. I would expect Mark to get me known. So that when people see my name, they're like, I saw you do this thing with Grant Cardone when he came through Wales. That's how you lift your brand. It's just a smarter thing to do today. So that when you advertise with him and you see the name, now you're like, oh, I remember you from this and that. And they put the pieces together. People buy from people they know, not from people they trust. People do not buy the best product either. People buy the best known product.
I love that.
You can't tell me this is the best coffee in the world. It's the best known coffee in the world.
In my environment, what happens in our environment, the reason we're growing is because the code of ethics is we push, we don't want lazy around us. We have a lot of fun, okay? But when we're pushing to get the deal done, and that starts with the leadership. You know, here I am, 4 days we've been here. I haven't been in the ocean yet. You know, I haven't done the little things that go across the ocean. What are those called?
Jet skis.
The jet skis.
Yeah.
I haven't jumped out of the plane, even though everybody's.
Skydive.
By the way, I'd love to skydive, and I probably will come back and skydive. But I haven't done that because the region's asking something of me, right? And if I'm like, I'm too busy, I'm riding camels today. Great experience, and I will have it. But I have to set priorities in my life. The people around me know that I'm going to take the work before I'm going to take the leisure, yeah.
Grant,
So pay the price today, right?
pay the price.
And I can pay any price tomorrow. When I read these books in my 20s about successful people, they all owned real estate. All the successful people, the Rockefellers, the oil barons, the railroad guys, they all ended up with real estate. Car dealers. Car dealers don't make money selling cars, just so you know. Car dealers make money because they pay for their real estate. They rent it back to the store, and they end up with a facility that pays them forever for acres and acres of real estate. Just so you know, every car dealer in America gets rich because of their real estate, not just because of their cars. The cars pay for the real estate. How many of you know a rich car dealer? Okay, McDonald's, Ray Kroc, he didn't have the recipe. He got control of McDonald's because of real estate. Jeff Bezos today, in every major city in America right now, is making real estate plays. So you're here because you already understand that. I understood it, and I started writing this down. 20 units or more.
Talk about family life, because there's a bit.
Talk about what?
Family life. Family.
Oh, family life.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a similarity between yourself and me in the sense that I've got two girls, similar age. How old are your kids?
7 to 10.
So mine's 4 and 8.
Yeah, okay.
And my wife, I met her in a similar kind of way. How important is it? How important is it?
Really important, man. Like no matter what you're doing all day long on the battlefield, you want to come home and have mutual agreement on what's going on. Yeah. There was 4 of us yesterday. We were at Starbucks or something, and all 4 of us on Instagram. I'm like, what is happening, man? Yeah. We're not even together anymore. Yeah. Like 4 people, and everybody's looking at their own different thing, right? Yeah. I said something, nobody heard me. I'm like, what's going on? You don't want to be alone. No. Nobody wants to be alone, dude. Maybe the alone person wants to be alone, but success is better when you have somebody to share it with. Yeah. When you're successful and you have nobody to talk to, hey, I did this deal today. Or you have, or worse, I don't know if this is worse or not, but it's similar, is you don't have anybody to tell. Yeah. Or you tell them and they're like, yeah, we don't need all that. That's another form of just isolation. Yeah. So, I want to have a team, man. I want to have a team that's excited about what we're doing and what we're accomplishing. So, man, having family and having people that want to be on the same, and it's challenging too. Yeah. Having other people is challenging. If you think you're going to build a brand because you create one great video, it ain't going to happen.
So you need to create a lot of content.
One masterpiece. Somebody said the other day, I said, you post that video? He's like, it's not ready yet. I said, you know what? A video posted's better than a video that's perfect.
True.
Post the video. I don't need it to be perfect. Nobody's asking for perfect. Okay, so this is why TVs are dying. Because the production on a TV show takes so long that by the time the TV show comes out, everybody's lost interest in it and they're doing something else. Exactly. I mean, we have viewership on some of our channels, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, or Twitter, or LinkedIn, or Snapchat. We have viewership higher than some TV channels in America that spent billions of dollars. While they're planning, writing scripts, we're producing content.
You're just broadcasting,
We broadcast, okay? And then so you can't. One masterpiece will not beat 10,000
pieces of content. So number one. Number two, you need to post frequently enough to where you almost annoy your audience. Okay, you actually have to get them through the annoying part. Like, oh, he posted too much. He's posted too much. You need to post just a little bit more, so they're like, oh wow, this guy's. I can trust him now. On the other side of the annoying is I can trust him to post. Okay. Then the third thing is you got to keep the content entertaining and interesting. So you're not going to know how to do that because you post once or twice. And whatever you're doing this year, probably 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, golly, that was garbage. It's going to change, I promise you. So, I've posted, 6,000 videos on YouTube. I don't know what I posted on Instagram, a bunch. A couple thousand posts on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So just so everybody knows, there is no schedule. There's no plan. There's a commitment, not a plan. So the commitment is, hey, we are going to tell the world, show the world what we're doing. Now, whether that's me on my jet or me just buying a new car or me with my family, I've been ridiculed for all those things. He's using his kids for Instagram. I said, I didn't bring my kid to the live show. Okay, my kid walked in while I was doing a show at 9 o'clock at night because she woke up. I'm not going to stop the show because my kid walks in my life any more than I'm going to stop my life because my kid walks into my life. When you make the commitment, specific commitments, write them down. What am I looking for this year? I want to lose weight. How much weight? This much weight. I want to make this much money. Great. How much money? I want to bank this much money. I don't want to just make money. I know people that make a lot of money end up with nothing. I want to bank this much money. Okay, I want to have some passive income coming in, so I'm going to make this much money, I'm going to keep this much money, and I'm going to invest this much money so I have passive income. Be very specific when you write your goals and targets down, and don't get lost in the mechanics while you're writing them down. I see a lot of people, they go to write their goals down and they cut them back by half, and then a quarter, and then a tenth of what they were actually capable of doing. And then what happens is by January 20th, you wake up and you're like, dude, I don't care about losing 13 pounds. It doesn't change my life. I don't care about making another $1,000. It doesn't change my life. I don't care about these things. And the reason the euphoria wears off is because the goal is not big enough. Set some big, giant targets. Be willing to be disappointed, dejected. Be willing to be come up short on your goals. Look, if I aim for the freaking moon, I might end up with the stars. And I started studying super successful people and quit listening to my uncle and quit listening to my friends and my family members and people that had quit. I quit listening to people that had given up on the dream and started emulating people that had created the dream. And then what happens is if you do that, like if a person went back to when I was 25, 26 years old and did exactly the same things I did, they would be exactly where I am or further. If you took everything away from me right now, the things that are most valuable to me, you can't take away. So you take the plane away, you take the money away, take the real estate the portfolio away. 3 years from now, I'll be bigger than I was because now I have courage. Like if you guys can just find your courage, man. And that's a muscle. You got to go build a muscle of courage. I have courage. Nobody can take that away from me. You can't steal it from me. You can't beat it out of me. The true wealth on this planet is helping other people. Like if somebody else, how many people do you think will hear this interview?
Oh, it will be thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Okay. So, maybe if I help 100 people out of 100,000, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I got family members that are going to help 100 people in their whole lifetime. If I can help 100 people today, that'd be freaking crazy. The other 100,000 that didn't get the message, whatever, man. Go do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Like, I don't even know you, right? Like some guy was hating on me the other day. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you. You know me. I don't know you. Okay. Understand the calculation. That's a problem. Because who knows me is more important than who likes me. So yeah, what's my exit? I don't know that I have an exit. I think the exit for me is probably the same as everybody else, except I would like to live a couple 100 years after I die. So my game say, my game is not the money game. My game, even though I play the money game, my game is, could I help people in the year 2150?
Yeah.
That means I need to write down what I did. I need to put it in books. I've written 21 best-selling business programs. Okay. Those programs should be able to live. Like when we build something, we're like, can this live 50 or 60 years from now?
Everything should be used, right? Everything you're doing should be used for something. You got to assume that you're going to be successful. And if you're going to be successful, you should document it. I promise you're going to look back. Everybody in the room has done this. God, I wish I had pictures from when I was, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Because you were underestimating, this is the 10X rule. You're underestimating your potential to be super successful. Then you're going to get there and say, damn, what was I thinking? You were thinking you weren't going to be successful. And the truth is you are. The organism is going to be successful. If you don't quit, if you refuse to quit, and you refuse to stay where you are, those two things you have to do. Refuse to quit and refuse to stay where you are. You will get here. The organism, you as a 60 trillion cells will figure the way out, okay, somehow, if you don't quit and if you refuse to not be satisfied with this spot right here that you're at, no matter how tempting the spot is.
You need an accountability partner. You need someone that you share your goals with that will hold you accountable. A strong person, somebody you respect, a mentor, a guide, someone that you don't want to disappoint or let down. Pick someone that you can have with you on your side that you can share as often as you need to. That your goals are this, your actions need to be that, and you did or didn't handle those things, okay? And have somebody in your life where they'll hold you accountable and say, look, come on, man, you're better than this. Let's go do this. I've been using mentors my entire life. A lot of people don't know this. At the age of 25, I had a mentor that met with me every single day to check on me. Every day. I made commitments every day. That person met with me every day. When I got into a sales game, I was 26, 27 years old. I met with a guy every day to work with me on my sales game. Every day he held me accountable. How many calls I made, how much training I did, every day. I have had accountability coaches and mentors for 37 years.
When I was 30 years old, I hated the sales thing. I hated, like I'm doing this documentary right now, and Tom Hopkins, I'm participating in it. And he's the guy that I studied, and I studied Brian Tracy, and I studied all these guys. This was back when selling was like, you ask a question, I answer it with a question. There was no transparency. You couldn't shop data anywhere. So everything was slick. It was criminal. It was bordering on criminal all the time. Like, I'm going to put my thumb inside my hand like this, and I'm going to model you and match you. And I hated that. Like, I hated the idea that I had to become someone else every time. So basically what I did was, I tell this story all the time. I was selling fish when I was 19 years old. I mean, if I'm selling fish, I just knock on your door and say, I got fish. That was my pitch. I got fish. I caught the fish. The fish are fresh. And before you say no, look at the fish.
Yeah.
And I sold all my fish.
Nice.
And so I learned how to do things transparent in an industry. This is 30 years ago. Car dealers didn't give you anything. There was no books. There was no Google. There was no TrueCar. There was none of that, right?
Right.
So I figured out how to be more effective selling with the truth, honesty, transparency, and authenticity. And I took that model and I went around the country and sold it to a bunch of car dealers that were making money deceiving people.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing for me.
I know what I can do now. Once you know what you can do, then you can do it a second time. And that's why so many people can go bankrupt and then come right back, because they know now. The first time you do it, you don't know. The second time you do it, you're like, I think maybe. The third and fourth time, you're like, I know for sure I can do this. So that's why I say success is so important. Success is my duty, responsibility, and obligation to myself. Forget my family for a second. I need success for me, to feel good about me so I can be good with my family. And I think a lot of people are trying to do their life without having success be part of it. Success is part of my mental. Like, I think success actually is
the best medication for my mental health.
You need things that pull you forward. Once you have your coach, once you have your big dreams, once you have your schedule of exactly what you need to be doing every day, you need little things that can pull you forward so you're staying busy. Busy. In action. In actions. Moving forward. Things pulling me, not pushing me. Things that are pulling me forward. Okay, I got a date. As soon as this is done today, I got to go do this at 10 o'clock. I get done with that. I got something at 11:30. I need events pulling me forward. That could be an event you're going to. It could be a conference you're going to. It could be a meeting you're going to, a charity event. Have things that are pulling you forward so that you're accomplishing every day, so that you're proud of yourself, respectful of yourself, you're loving yourself, you're feeling good about yourself.
You're a bad man, dude. You're a bad man. When I look in this man's eyes, I'm like, he's a bad dude.
Sometimes, yeah.
Could you make me the president of the United States? That's what I want.
I was over there telling my wife I could get you in Congress in a heartbeat.
You could get Congress. Could you? Huh? Congressman Cardone.
There you go.
I like the sound of that.
You need to dream big. I mean, you cannot dream big enough. I'm telling you, you can't dream big enough. You can do more than you're doing, but you can't do more than you're doing if you hang around with little thinkers. That could be your family members, could be your friends, could be people you're going to school with and hanging out with. Look, there's a time and a place to hang out with those people. Can't pick your family. I mean, they say you can't. I wonder sometimes if we don't actually do the picking and just show up there. But I'll save that for another conversation. But I do know once you get with your family, the family that you picked or they picked or however that might work, the selection process, wherever you went to school or go to school or where you grew up or how you grew up or religion you grew up in or whether you're white or black or brown, male or female, the question's always going to be, what can you do to do more with your life? To find your mission, to find your purpose, to find what you're great at, to get great at the things maybe that you're not great at, that you don't even like doing. Number one, think big. I'm telling you, you can do more and you will do more than you ever imagined. If you're ever successful in your life, if you ever hit it, and you can, you will look back 10, 15, 20 years from now and say, God, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? I promise you. You know, it's like 80 pounds of weight looks like a lot when you're 5 or 6 years old. Later, it's pretty easy to pick that up. No matter what your frame is, as long as you do the work and show up in the gym, one day you'll be able to pick that barbell up. Just like in life, okay? The things that you think are impossible today, the things that you hate today, the things that you aren't good at, the things that you think are a waste of time, the things that make you angry are all opportunities for you.
And the first thing to becoming a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a hectamillionaire, or a billionaire, and I've spent time with enough billionaires now, is they have made decisions to get their money right, okay? Whether they're going public or selling a product, scaling out, they had to make a decision to get the money, the finance model of their household, their business, their product, or their IPO right? If they want to go to the market and become a public company. So number one, get your money right. It's not about product knowledge first. It's not about sales knowledge first. It's not about sales process first. It's not about the follow-up first or writing the customer up first. It's not even about attitude first. It's about get your financial mental, get your money mental right, okay? Because if you're satisfied, if you're happy where you are financially, why would you sell anything else? Look, let's face it, you're on commission. You get paid to sell things. You get paid to close deals. You get paid to follow up only when it works. Okay, number one, get your money mindset right.
Anybody ever surfed? You ever got covered up by a wave? Yes, sir. And it's throwing you down, and you're like, and you're like, I can't wait to come up. And as soon as you come up, you're like, oh my God, and bam, another one hits you. Okay, this is a tsunami. This is a tsunami. There is no place you can go and escape what's going on here. You can go get another job. We have many people that have tried that already. Some of you might be thinking about it. You're going to go some other place and you're going to meet yourself again. And the tsunami will be wherever you go. There's no getting away from the tsunami. The only way out of this deal is to say, hey, what do I have to sell today? Okay, so right now, Dave did a deal yesterday, $995. What kind of business was it, Dave?
Solar.
60 months. Did you ask the guy, are you going to be in business in 2025?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
Well, it was a 3-year deal. He didn't like the price. I said, okay, let's do 5 years.
Yeah, good. Okay, so you guys need to start asking people. First of all, are you going to be in business next year? You need to ask every person. You need to include a couple of words in your pitch right now, okay? Hey, are you going bankrupt? You need to ask them, are you going to go bankrupt? Because they're thinking about it. Trust me. They are thinking about, I'm going to bust out here. You need to bring it up before they do. This is straight out of Sell or Be Sold. Initiate the objective of the objection. The unspoken objection is what's going to kill your deals.
From 15 to 25, I was using drugs every day. So when I tell you, hey, you can do anything, I was a habitual daily drug user. Overdosed 3 times. Was brought back by people just wandering into a room saying, oh, this guy's in trouble. Okay, I don't know if I was trying to kill myself at the time or I was just didn't know what I was doing or stupid or whatever. Like, I was a walking time bomb and I was not to be trusted by my family, by my friends. There was no one in my life between 15 and 25 that I could have a positive influence on. I was a liability to everyone in my life, including my family and my friends and people I went to school with and the places I worked at. I lost 7 jobs in a row. I was unemployable. 25, I went to a treatment center and said, I got to turn this around. I got to turn this around. I cannot keep using drugs. They're bad for me. I make poor decisions when I'm using them. I go out with the wrong people, hang with the wrong people, end up in the wrong fights. I literally got, like, when you're using drugs, you're going to pick fights you can't win, not in a lifetime. You're going to get in the wrong cars, make the wrong decisions, the wrong purchases, and you're going to miss a lot of great opportunities. So first thing is, you can't do great things if you're incapable of making great decisions. And when you're under the influence, and I don't want to preach to you, I'm just telling you what advice I'd give myself if I was on the comeback and I was 15 years old and being influenced by everybody smoking the kush. It's cool now. It's probably going to be legal everywhere. Going out drinking on the weekends, forgetting everything that you did, and just making poor decisions. So I would tell you, hey, you got to figure out how is that going to somehow advance your life. You're going to have to make some hard choices. If I'm a young guy coming up, young gal coming up, how can I pick great relationships when everybody's under the influence? And again, I don't mean to sound like a preacher or anything, because I'm definitely not that. We're going to have a great time this weekend. I'm here for a week. We're going to have a lot of fun. But I couldn't do that if I was still under the influence every day.
First, get rid of the little think and the old ideas and the middle class mentality. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to put it in the bank. I'm going to give it to the man. What's the bank do? The bank doesn't even keep your money. They hate money. Cash it's trash. Cash is garbage. It's pieces of garbage paper. It is only useful when it is used, if you're taking notes. They didn't teach you this in school. This should have been taught basic, 5th grade, 6th grade, not when in high school or college. Cash, this is a piece of paper, okay? It is a piece of paper. It's worthless. This is a piece of paper. This actually has more value. This piece of paper right here has more value than this piece of paper right here. Why? Because one person has this piece of paper. 2,000 people have this data. You understand? This piece of paper right here is useless, though, until it is used. You failed the business, no problem. You restart another business. So the way to play this is, let's go ahead and give your business the best shot. You need training. You're going to need sales. You're going to need phone skills. You're going to need follow-up. Otherwise, it's going to fail. Okay, now watch. We put it on a credit card. If we put it on a credit card and you fail, the bankruptcy court picks up the Visa, MasterCard, the American Express. The training contract you did with us lives on for your next company. You guys understand that? 100% of those people will continue on in some other business. A few of them will commit suicide. Okay? Oh, I'm done. But the rest of them are going to be like, I got to go do something. And they are going to restructure and start another company. Donald Trump has restructured casinos, man. This is not a new thing. Like, the big boys restructure. Okay, failed, boom, we restructure, we'll create something new. I still got a business, okay? You got to get this guy to see, this might fail, but you won't, because you won't quit, and you're going to be over here.
In people's lives, you have distractions. And you have opportunities to go do other stuff and look at other stuff. You know, it's like indecisiveness is the weakness, as you wear so well. And it's like, look, you guys want to be hoodwinked by the COVID. You want to be hijacked by the election. You want to be thrown off because of somebody's comments about you. Like the universe will send you endless numbers of distractions. And to people that are fully, completely committed, they're like, yeah, I saw that happen. Yeah, I heard there was a car wreck over there. A guy sent me something this morning from Fox News about this guy that was arrested. I'm like, why are you passing this on to me? And I said, never pass on bad information to me. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. By the way, you're better than that. And all the people you know don't need that message. And at the same time, by the way, he sent it to a friend of mine, another friend of mine. My wife got it, but nobody said, stop it. Hey guys, Papa's on a podcast. Sorry about that. So, again, you see that, like stop the distraction, stop the noise. And if you don't say no to it, it will continue, it will feed you to be distracted and give you excuses to not achieve the things that you're capable of. Learn to discipline yourself. If you got to go to the gym every day, if you hate going to the gym, go to the gym. I don't like going to the gym, but I'm like, I don't like my body hurting either. Sooner or later, if you don't go to the gym and work your body will scream at you and it will hurt. Lower back pains, arms, shoulders, knees, you name it. It's always going to hurt. And as long as it's hurting, how can you be fully available for the people around you if your body's hurting? 2, you got to eat good foods, okay? Got to make decisions. I ain't going to eat junk. I'm not going to eat the junk. Why? Because I'm saying no to junk. And if you can start saying no to stuff, you can start saying yes to the good things. Like my little girl right there, Sabrina. Say hi, Sabrina. Hey. So pay the price today. Learn how to be great at jobs you hate. That's paying the price. Get up early. Go to bed early. Okay, beat the sun up every morning. It'll give you so much confidence. I'm paying the price when I do that. When I get up before the sun gets up, I'm paying the price. When I go to bed at 9 o'clock and I'm not watching TV and movies and just being entertained and affected whatever's coming my way, I'm paying the price. When I don't waste the weekends make you weak. Listen to me. Weekends are for weak people. Anything after 10 o'clock at night, it's for weak people. Okay, Saturday and Sunday, staying up all night, weak people. People are made weak on the weekends. Pay the price, okay? Give up the weekends for the next 5 years and watch what happens. 5 years, man, that's a lot of weekends. That's, what is that, 250 weekends? Is that right? Yeah, 250 weekends. That means I'm ahead of the people around me. I'm paying the price today in hopes that I could pay any price in the future.
Follow up. All the money is in the follow up. It's not in the meet and greet. It's not on the internet. It's in the follow-up. You got a lead, somebody's interested. How do I follow them up? Now, this is where the financial thing comes back into play because the follow-up is hard. Nobody wants to make that second call, much less the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one. Do you know that 25% of all salespeople make one phone call and quit? 48% never make 2 calls. Most never make the first one. It's crazy, okay? Most of your sales are closed between the 5th and the 8th call. If you're advertising on the internet, there's a good chance you have to call people 8 to 11 times just to get them on the phone one time to qualify them the first time to see if they're even on the right product. So follow up. The fortunes are in the follow up.
I just thought we'd take a shot at one of these obnoxious car videos because I know you guys love automobiles, probably more than I love them as the private jet flies over us. This is a completely obnoxious, I'm just gonna be completely transparent for all the haters and the naysayers and all of you out there that hate on people that are successful. I thought I'd give you something to hate on today because content is king, right? Okay, today we have my driver car. My driver car, this is what I roll in. This is the 2021 Cullinan, Rolls-Royce Cullinan, $454,000 of nothing but super swag, obnoxious. Thank you, Bernie Marino. The next senator of Ohio, by the way, for this complete obnoxious beast of an automobile, okay? This is not dog friendly, by the way. You put a dog back here, boom. That bad boy gonna be dead, okay? Now, to my Tuesday car, Spider 458, what is it? 488. I ain't got my numbers right, but I got my money right, okay? 488, lowrider Tuesday, get me ready for hump day, okay? This thing is so fast, it is freaking unbelievable. Brings me to my Wednesday car. You know what they say about Wednesdays is hump day, okay? This thing is nothing but just freaking stupid luxury, stupid Bentley luxury, $368,000 of nothing but obnoxious. To bring me to my washer car, okay? $180,000 Mercedes V8, beautiful four-door sedan. When those bad boys are getting washed, I take a day off and drive in the little Benz just to keep me grateful about the bullshit, obnoxious, crazy stuff I got up there, okay? That brings me to my Friday car, right? Do I have a Friday car? Yeah, this is my Thursday car. This is my Friday rider. This is when I go DJ Khaled. We the best. This is a Phantom, folks. This is $650,000 and nothing but beast, obnoxious, freaking crazy black on black badge. But let me show you what I use on the weekends. This is the vehicle that does it all for me, okay? What's up, man? My taco truck. Saturdays, Sundays is my taco truck. This is how I pay for all the obnoxious selling on the weekends. Weekends are for the weak. Taco trucks are for the terrific. Go get you a damn taco truck so you can buy all this obnoxious Bentley bling, Italiano, Fratello, Familia, Cullinan cuisine. Grant Cardone is the king, and I'm obnoxious as
When you lose a job, and I've lost a bunch of jobs, when you lose a job, the truth is people need to get to full acceptance and understand that once you lose a job, you might not be an engineer or an accountant anymore, but you have a new job immediately.
Yeah.
And the new job is to get a job, right? And when that guy heard those videos, he watched 3 of the 12 videos, and I showed him, hey, look, you're not out of work. Your new work is to get a job, and you need to go get a job now. You can go get an unemployment check if you want to, but sooner or later, you're going to have to confront the beast. And the beast is, I have this gorilla on my back wall. It reminds me, confront the beast, bro. Okay, you got to confront the biggest beast in the jungle, and I'm the enemy. In my life, I am the biggest problem I have, and so when you lose a job, first thing you got to confront is you, and say, wait a minute, am I out of work? Oh no, I just lost my title as engineer. My new job is to get a job. And commit to going to get that job. And because it's going to be easier to get a job this week than it will be 26 weeks from now. I promise you. Because 26 weeks from now, you're going to have 25 million people running back to the job market. You want to go look when they're not looking.
For someone who is just starting out, how do they get themselves motivated at the beginning?
Well, you got to show up. I mean, in the beginning, I just had to show up, even when I didn't have faith. I had to show up this morning. I didn't want to come to work today.
You didn't?
No. woke up. I'm like, man.
That's comforting to me that there are days that you don't want to
Sabrina's
do it.
laying next to me, and she's like, I don't want to do drama class, and I'm playing games with her, and we're making up words, everything that starts with an S, and I'm like, man, I'd just like to stay here and just hang out with her.
Yeah.
Not even have her go to school today, and we'll go fish for a little while, and then I'm like, okay, put your feet on the floor, dude, go take the shower, go do the deal. Dude, show up. Even if your eyes are bleeding, even if you don't know what to do, keep it simple. Show up. Okay, show up, something will happen, and just do the simple things. And for me, the simple things are always this. Call a customer.
Okay.
Call somebody you want to be a customer. Call somebody you need to meet. Call me. Call somebody that will support you.
I walked into Marlin Stadium, I was telling Kevin, I said, God damn, this is beautiful. Beautiful. How many people is this seat? About 30,000, 28, 29,000. I'm like, yeah, but y'all never had that many people here. And they said, yeah, Joel Osteen was here. Joel Osteen had 28,000 people. I said, I'll take the whole place. If Joel can do it, I can do it. Okay? If Joel can do it, I can do it too, right? We were there 5 minutes. I said, I'll take the place. And they're like, when do you want it? Let me see if it's available. I said, I guarantee it's available. And they're like, well, how do you know that? You don't know our schedule. I said, I guarantee you it's available when I want it. And when do you want it? Super Bowl weekend. They're like, yeah, it is available. Because nobody would do an event on Super Bowl weekend. Now, if you can understand why I did that event, because my entire staff, including Jared right here, everyone involved in this event said, do not do Super Bowl weekend. Why would I do Super Bowl weekend? I'm the only person other than the Super Bowl doing an event. There's nobody else doing an event. There's nobody else doing an event. Everybody was worried about the Super Bowl, dude. I just took out, the Super Bowl took out everybody. It got rid of everybody, number one. Number two, if I pull it off, my brand will be lifted up into the heavens as something mystical. Yes. Okay? Amen. So sometimes you don't do things. We made less money on that event with 35,000 people than an event with 10,000. But the brand lift was so unbelievable. Okay? Like, the goal was, hey, Jared, and every day Jared and I were talking. Hey, Jared, if we can pull this off, it wasn't about the money. It was, we pull this off, dude, it's a game changer for the brand, okay? Number one, nobody's ever done this. 35,000 people, Super Bowl weekend, the story's unbelievable. We will pull it off ourselves. And every time somebody does an event after this, it'll be like, Tony does an event with 30,000 people? Yeah, but Cardone did 35,000. Yes. You understand? So you want to pick up residual from other people. You want to pick up reminders. Okay, if you can figure out how to use your competition, if they're competition, or collaborate with them. Either way, you want to have their efforts reminding the public the similar of but free advertising.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome. For 50 more rules from Warren Buffett, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
To make $10 a week more doing something that you don't feel good about compared to something you'd feel good about, make the change.
I don't worry about the things that I miss that are outside my circle of competence of evaluating.